Libra, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to the Unseen Hands Collective. This is going to be your February shift reading. We're looking at the shape you're shifting out of this month, the shape you shift into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. So Libra, the image that's coming to me for you this month is cutting it right down the middle. Like specifically splitting wood with an axe. And the energy of it feels very intentional, very focused, very like, you know what? Chop it, like cut it out, split it. There's something very about this energy, very pointed, specific. And then I'm looking at your cards and it sort of feels like there's a breakthrough in this. It's like you chop through something or break through something. It feels really good. So I'll show you what this looks like. We're using the Slow Holler Tarot this month. The shape you're shifting out of is the Moon, and the shape you're shifting into is the Magician. Two major arcana cards, by the way. This is a big shift for you. Major, major, major. These are archetypal energies. These are like bigger shapes that we shift through in our psyche, in our lives. These are not just the mundane human experience. This is something maybe much more philosophical or much more spiritual of a shift for you that of course is going to affect your humanness in a very profound way here. So I also think it's really interesting that this Moon card is like two snakes moving in different directions, because the meditation image was just like split it right down the middle. So maybe there's something here about, with the Moon card, feeling sort of constantly toggling between two ways of thinking and feeling. It's like, is it this or is it that? Is it this? Is it that? Boom, 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 boom. That's kind of the energy I'm feeling, is like, I don't know. Maybe it's my Libra Moon speaking, that's that sort of, I'll show you the other cards that corroborate this. But splitting down the middle seems like cutting out this vacillation and just like getting right to the point, which is interesting that the Magician would actually do that. The Magician is a card of intentional, focused action. And it's the number 1, which is sort of what it felt like to me in the image. It was like from 2, and then like the 1 comes in and splits the 2. Maybe I'm talking about the Ace of Swords and the 2 of Swords, even though that's not showing up in your spread at this point in the reading. Like the 2 of Swords is a Libra Moon. That's why I'm thinking of it, since I mentioned my own moon sign. It's like, is it this or is it that? I don't know. I'm waffling constantly in my head, going back and forth and back and forth. It's exhausting, okay? It can be. And it can be really isolating too, because you're just like in your head space doing a lot of this. And then the Ace of Swords cuts right through that fog or that thickness or that vacillation to get to something more focused. And the Magician is an energy, if the Moon is an energy of like an internal emotional experience, that's the energy of the Moon here. Internal, emotional. And this particular Moon card is pretty intense. This is an intense internal experience you may be going through. And it may be linked to the fact that you don't know what's next, because often in the Moon card, we don't know what's next. It's a mystery, and the mystery has us doing all kinds of flip-flops in our head. The Magician is sort of the opposite. The Magician says, and this is so Libran, right? Don't you look like this? I know you do. You beautiful Libra, like Libran, that energy of just like, I'm fabulous. Yes, Libra, you are. And it's like the Magician kind of wants you to remember that when you get in these headspaces that have you sort of spinning and feeling torn in many emotional, mental directions. The Magician goes, excuse me, excuse me, Libra, can you remember who you are? you're a fabulous magician capable of taking so many forms, and you are capable of vast multitudes. Yes, it is true. The magician empowers you in your own self and says, what do you want? What do you want to make? What do you want to create? All the power is yours. You're ready to do it. You're fabulous. As is, you have everything you need to be that full and that powerful of a magician, of, you know, and to me that's like someone who's very physically, humanly capable. Like capable of having a very tangible effect in your human world. Because to me, the magician is less of like a spirit energy and more of an embodied human experience of making magic, like an embodied human experience of, I can affect change on my life. I can make something out of nothing. I can take the resources I have and create something beautiful. It's the magic and the mystery of being human. Whereas like the moon card can sometimes be also the magic and mystery of being human, but that internal emotional experience that is a little harder to get a handle on. And I'm saying that too because of this is what your shapeshift looks and feels like. 7 of Cups, 5 of Wands, and the Devil. Yay that the Devil is here, thank God, because this is liberating you. I mean, look at that. This is the breakthrough I'm talking about. Because this is energy that's got you all messed up in your head. You know, like this is the energy of the moon. This is that energy of like, oh my God, there's so many things swirling and I have so many thoughts, and is it going this way or is it going that way? And do I think this or do I think this? How do I feel? I don't know. That's this energy here, and it's really overwhelming. There's so much mental energy here in this 7 of Cups, mental, emotional. It's all swirling, you know, and it's got you kind of like, your head is just spinning. And it's really hard to process it all. It's really hard to pull it all apart and see what it all is, because it's just so much. You know, maybe it's a lot of processing about like, okay, well, what is this person feeling? You know, Libra is really keen and really aware and really tuned into other people, sometimes to a fault, sometimes more so than tuned into yourself, you know? And so like there could be this energy of just like swirling thoughts around what other people are thinking. Well, that person must have thought that, and that's why they did that. And then this person, you know, and it's just too much. It's so crowded. And look, it's like, the 5 of Wands is a really confusing, messy, difficult process to move through. And I always see this particular 5 of Wands as like, it's chaos, first of all, right? It's really chaotic. But I always see it as like gut bacteria, like a bacterial gut imbalance, like an internal imbalance, which is very much what I'm sensing here is like this overthinking or this internal experience you're having is creating chaos inside of you, and which is creating an imbalance. And Libra, your Justice card, you're all about balance. So it's like, I'm feeling really imbalanced and something has to give. Something's got to give. That's the Devil energy. There has to be this breakthrough. I mean, look at that energy erupting out of the head. This is free your mind. It's like the mind, perhaps, and keeping everything inside of you, and like your internal, it's like an internal prison almost that's got you captive. The Devil talks about things that keep you bound, stuck, tied down in ways that you didn't ask for and that you don't actually wish for. And the Devil says, it's cool, let's look at them. Okay, they're harder things to look at, right? The Devil is the god of the underworld, the things that we don't want to see about ourselves or that lurk in the shadows, the scaries, okay? It's like that's what this is a symbol of. But it's those scaries that lurk inside of us that we're afraid of. It's like that is actually the point of liberation. It's just true. And so it's like, if you're willing to go there, if you're willing to really see what this is that's creating so much chaos inside of you, and perhaps division, because I'm also seeing like 2 sides here with the gold and the red, separating 2 people or separating you from something else. Or perhaps again, it's the 2, you know, it's this like 2 forces sort of pulling you in different directions inside of yourself. Perhaps it feels like you are separate from yourself. in some way because of this intense, overwhelming, chaotic internal energy that I feel as very mental. I mean, mental, emotional, can we really separate them? Anyway, the devil's here to liberate you, to help you see those things that are going on inside of you that maybe are not obvious to you or that feel painful and hard to look at. Because it wants you to be free, you know, the devil wants you to be free, to fly out of here, because it's like, hey, if you stay here, you're gonna burn. Look at that, the person's on fire. Fashion yourself some bat wings and fly the hell out of hell. Your own internal hell. You know, like if hell is real, it is inside the human mind. We know this. Sorry, it's that SNL skit. It's in me. We notice, okay? But it's all trying to move you towards a completely different energy. It's like chopping through that crap, right? It's almost like you could see this as, now I'm getting the myth of Pallas Athena, axing her way out of her imprisonment inside of Zeus's body, right? Am I getting that myth right? Hope so. Like, she hacked her way out of there. Brilliant. You know, it's like this genius breakthrough moment. And it's like you're hacking your way out of yourself and into, and out of whatever has got you just, frankly, kind of wrecked. And into a completely different energy. An energy that goes, oh yeah, I have the power here. Oh yeah, I don't have to be so wrecked inside. I can relax into my natural ease as a Libra, you know, like my natural beauty, you know, and like my natural appeal as a person, and like so charismatic. And there's so much power in just like who you are. And again, the magician says you have the power. You want to make a change, make a change. You want to do something different, you can do something different, but don't give your power away. Like it just really feels like whatever this internal experience is, Libra, it's robbing you of so much energy. There's so much energy being devoted here to this internal space that is not necessarily helpful. You know, I'm not the person to tell you not to devote to your internal space. That's why this work exists, to deepen your internal experience, okay? And external experience though, you know, because that's where the magician wants to take it. The magician wants to take you out of yourself and get more into your external experience. Okay, what can I roll my sleeves up? What can I get my hands in? But you have to have that like baseline level of confidence and ease in yourself to not get sucked back into your internal world that looks more like this. Because when you are divided inside of yourself constantly, back and forth, creating your own upset stomach, your own upset mind and heart, dang, it's like you're not gonna be able to do anything, you know? You're not gonna be able to do and live and embody and be. I'm talking about embodiment in these readings so much because of some conversations we're having over here with me and Kevin and Kelsey in the collective about Hierophant year. You know, we are 2021, 2 + 2 + 1 is 5. 5 is the Hierophant. This is in talking about like the Hierophant as this channel between spirit and earth. And that channel, that go-between is like how spirit comes into form, into being, into embodiment, okay? So, you know, I think we're all probably going to be talking about that a lot in the coming months, if not all of 2021. But it's like, this is a form of embodiment, Libra. If you can get out of yourself, get out of your head, get out of your insides and into the outside world, and you'll feel more grounded. Maybe this is what Mercury retrograde is really telling you, because the magician is Mercury. and Mercury is retrograde this month. Okay, Libra, liberation from your own insides is totally here. And I'm excited about this reading. So we're going to dive deeper now into an extended. I'm going to pull some other cards, see if we can get more details out of this reading. If you'd like to follow me to that extended, click the link in the description box below, and that will take you to unseenhandscollective.com, where you can find the extended for this month in the shop and through our monthly memberships. And of course, you can also check out your shift scope and your shift guidebook to complete your shift this month. All right, Libra, thanks for being here. Clean slate, new start for your heart, new beginning. Okay, it's like, okay, wow, that was a lot that I just moved through. You know, like maybe once Mercury clears its retrograde, you can experience a little bit more of this relief and this like, wow, I just purged, you know? I just ended so much. I just purged so much stuff out of my insides. What an intense experience. You could see this as like purging energy, actually. I like that for the devil. And now it's like, okay, whew, I'm feeling a little more myself. I'm feeling my magic a little bit more, and I'm ready for a new, fresh, emotional experience.
It's about taking the risk to put yourself out there. All right? And what I'm seeing for you is that you're getting a lot of clarity on what it is that you want to be generating, what it is that you want to continue to grow, what your creative vision actually is. Okay, because Venus is that energy of creating. All right, and you have this part of you that, okay, because here's what I'm going to say here, like Taurus, you have Taurus in the 8th house, so that's where Uranus and Mars are right now, and your 8th house is your Scorpio house. That's the shit that's buried. It is buried, deep down. Okay, and usually because we're trying to protect that shit, because something at some point along our soul's evolution, something got taken from us, and we are trying to hold that, and we are trying to protect it. But what I'm seeing here is that as January really kind of popped the cap off of what it is that what you've been holding in that 8th house spot, okay, which is, I think for you, the ability to physically make something real, to physically experience something.